When your mom married your stepdad
Mm-hmm.
and growing up in that environment, you've shared in your memoir, you've shared a little bit about sort of the emotional and physical abuse that you went through, that he would bring a scale into the kitchen and shame you
Yeah.
over, like weigh you publicly and shame you over it. What was that experience like, and how's it impacted you?
Oh gosh. I think it impacts everything. Like it is, it's tricky because I know my dad basically left and left my mom with like nothing. Three kids, and she was struggling for many, many years. And I've talked about like times where she wouldn't eat because there wasn't enough food and she didn't have enough money for enough food for everybody, and the sacrifices that she made. And I know that she loved my stepfather, but I know that she also really needed us to have like a consistent like roof over our heads. I went to 5 elementary schools because we moved so often,
Mm.
which I think also helped me because then I can talk to anybody. Like I want to believe that there's like a blessing in every sort of difficult time, but it was um it was hard because I felt like I was singled out
Mm-hmm.
by him. He didn't really treat my younger sisters the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And again, not feeling chosen or feeling chosen for the wrong thing or being sort of, it was like a magnifying glass. And now as an adult, I'm like, okay, maybe he actually loved me, didn't know how to express it, and did it in such a difficult way that he thought he was being helpful. Like he doesn't want me to be unhealthy or he doesn't want me to be a certain way, but also hurt people. And he was, I think, very hurt by his own father.
Mm-hmm.
These are only things I can say now because I've gone to therapy and like I've processed feelings. But in the moment, I mean, I was devastated
Mm-hmm.
and it affected the way I walked into every room. I think it still affects the way I walk into a room. It's like my desire to be a people pleaser and a peacemaker. I'm also the middle child of five, so that has something to do with it. But um, yeah, like not feeling worthy. Like, why does my weight equate my worthiness? Or like, why does it bother him so much? Or like, what is he projecting onto me? Like, what is that? And as, a 12-year-old kid, it's like, how do you reconcile that in your mind? So, kids just, their job is to be loved,
Mm-hmm.
and some parents don't have that capacity, unfortunately. So, yeah, it was devastating. It was, I mean, it's still something that I deal with. And even in any kind of relationship and any kind of job that I want, I'm like, am I worthy of this? Like, it's so much about like, am I worthy of attention, affection, love? Because as a parent, I feel like that's their job. And when
Mm-hmm.
you don't get that, or you get it in a very unhealthy way, I'm not justifying his actions. I think a lot of therapists who might listen to this will be like, don't you say that. You cannot justify his actions. Like he didn't do what you're supposed to do as a parent. But it is, yeah, it is still very painful. If I like really kind of get to the root of it, there's still a lot of pain about all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
How did he do that with anyone else in the family? And what would he do exactly? I know he'd pull
Yeah.
the scale into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
kitchen,
Like he would
right?
weigh me in the kitchen or like threaten to like lock the cupboards. And I'm like, I don't think you get it. Like it's not, and because I think there's so much more awareness now around food issues, food behavior.
Yes.
People, when we educate people, the fear goes away. And maybe he was
Yes.
just fearful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. But yeah, I mean, definitely mental, physical, emotional abuse for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was and while you're going through puberty and you look like none of your other friends and you can't fit into any of the cute wet seal clothes that they can
Mm-hmm.
fit into, you're like, "Oh, let me borrow your necklace. How exciting." Um yeah, and then also, all of my friends, like all the boys liked my friends and I always felt like I was setting my friends up with cute boys. And yeah, there's so much stigma about weight, and there still is
Mm-hmm.
for a myriad of reasons. But I think there's this idea that like, oh, you can't put the food down or you're lazy or whatever. And because, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I feel like sex, drugs, rock and roll, it's so glorified, or like very thin, beautiful models are like on a pedestal, even though they're very unhealthy as well. They're not taking care of their bodies. But when you're overweight, it's like a whole other thing. And it's so bizarre. So yeah, I mean, I think the emotional, like the physical abuse, like, yeah, not great. But the emotional stuff that like they're like little nicks, little cuts. And eventually like you like bleed out. Like it is painful. So yeah, I think I'm trying to heal those wounds slowly but surely. And it's not easy because it definitely comes up in every, like the root of it is like, I'm unworthy of everything. You funnel down the feelings. Oh, I'm unworthy. So yeah, a
How
lot.
did it feel walking into a role where you were chosen then? And then, I mean, year after year after year, I know people just come up to you in the bathroom and share their stories with you. Like you're chosen by America and like celebrated and connected with so deeply.
Yeah, it is not lost on me.
Yeah. Do you feel worthy of it?
What's interesting is all the things I never heard, I get to hear from people. And so everyone's like, oh, I'm sorry if I'm bothering you. I'm like, oh, no. No. Like you're healing the wounds for me. Like you're putting a little Band-Aids on these wounds for me. And it really means a lot to me. And it means a lot because I feel like they have been impacted, and not because of me, but because of, so what I've brought to the role, but also the way that it was written, the way that there was such care taken for her and for the show as a whole. And like we don't have a blueprint for life. We're all just like trying to figure it out. And I think Kate did that so imperfectly that people related to that. And for that, I'm so grateful because it does connect me with people that I remember one of the first women who ever came up to me in New York City. She's like this cute little thing, her cute little workout clothes and her little stroller and her little baby. And she's like, can I talk to you? And I was like, sure. And I think she's going to like say something hateful or rude or whatever. Like, and I had this preconceived notion of what she was going to say because she looked a certain way. And she was like, I can't tell you how much I relate to your character. And I'm like, what? But why? What do you mean? And she's like, just because I'm not overweight, just because I don't have extra weight on my body doesn't mean that I don't relate to the behaviors or the unworthiness or, whatever the behavior is around food. She's like, I have a mind obsessed about food.
Yes.
And
I'm getting so emotional. I have never cried on the show. And I'm like getting emotional. And I'll tell you why, because you're talking about our steps are ordered. You're talking about the things that you did not get growing up. And like, I always think about this idea that God gives us double for our trouble. And I'm thinking about how
that's
you
so sweet.
are like healing. You talk about healing through this role of playing Kate, and people are coming up to you sharing how what you've done has helped them heal. And it's almost like what you're just describing right now is like double. It's like you're healing. You're talking about them helping you heal through the words they're sharing with you.
Yeah.
And then they're healing through seeing themselves through you.
Yeah.
And it's like double.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of anybody sort of like going through a hard time right now or in a tough situation, not understanding why it's happening to them or how they're, not getting the love they need or any of those things. And the thing that you said earlier too, about how you weren't chosen. And instead of talking about now, focusing on being chosen, you're saying, oh, I'm focusing on choosing myself.
Yeah.
Choosing myself. That is going to be huge for people listening.
It's so hard because it's not.
How do you do that?
Yeah, it's not cultivated.
Yeah.
Because if you do, then you're selfish. Or how could you think about only I'm always thinking about everybody else so much that my therapist is like, Chrissy, your mantra is what's in it for Chrissy? What do you get out of it? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. What? What is that concept? I don't know. What? I don't think about me. And you have to. Just like on every single airplane, they say you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself. Every time I hear that, I'm like, oh, right. Because you can't help whoever's sitting next to you or, God forbid, a family member. And it's difficult. It's so difficult to choose yourself.
Yes.
And because it's not cultivated because we feel selfish, or if someone's not choosing themselves, they then feel guilty and they project that they're not choosing, so then they try to make you feel bad, and you're like, wait, as soon as you draw boundaries and choose yourself, you really get to see who people really are, or wherever they're at, I should say, in their journey. Because I always say, like, people are troubled. I don't think they want to be. Like, we just have a lot to uncover, discover, discard, in our lives. So it's hard to choose myself, though.
It's so important, right?
Yeah, it's so important.
And it's a lie that it's selfish. I think, like, you look at all the studies and they show you can't have a deep, meaningful connection and love with someone else that's any deeper than the love you have for yourself.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever had this. I know.
Yeah.
Like, anyone listening right now, it's like, it's a big one, because especially as women, we think, oh, let me make everyone else happy, then I'll be happy. But it's like, you can't have the depth of love and connection any deeper with anyone else than the depth of love and connection you have for yourself. And I think that what I've learned the hard way, I'd be curious if you've learned this as well or had a similar experience, is that a lot of my life, I thought if enough other people chose me, then I'd feel chosen. Like, and so I overachieved, or I tried to, all make everyone else happy, or what. And you can get chosen. You can get famous. You can get whatever it is your goals and dreams are. But if you're not yet choosing yourself, you'll still never feel chosen. Right. It's so profound. I don't think I've ever talked with anyone about this, by the way, but it's so profound that you're on this journey. I think that's so powerful, because I think I'm just imagining so many people listening to us, again, seeing themselves through you, that are going to be like, wait a minute.
Well, you just give me an epiphany, because it's like, like I can only give what I have. Yeah. And obviously we can only keep what we give away, but you also have to give that back to yourself, because you can't give from an empty well, and you have to have that love to give to someone else, and it has to come from yourself. Yeah. And then I realized, oh, girl, like, all of the work of my father not choosing me, or even, Dan choosing me, or whatever role or label or whatever wants to work with me, like, I can't attach to that. Like, I can only attach to, like, how I feel about myself and how I show up for myself. Yeah. So I can then show up for other people.
We so often think, I feel like this is sort of this story in almost every advertisement and everything we grew up thinking, that, like, if I finally get that, then I'll be happy. Whether, now online and social, oh my gosh, it's when I finally get 1 million followers, when I finally get famous, or when I finally get 6-pack abs, or married, or a job title, or whatever it is. I want to ask you, because you said something at the very beginning of this that was, like, so profound. And I think about this because sometimes I think I feel so blessed to have accomplished some of my greatest goals, to realize, oh, that's not it if I don't first love myself.
You can't have a vision without a provision. So, like, if it's placed on your heart, you have to pursue it.
You got down to 81 cents in your bank account, literally, and then it happened.
What? Yeah, it's wild.